Hi guys, it's Tamara. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about ways to get out of learned helplessness. I think this is a very important topic for most of us because we do find ourselves stuck in certain emotions and thoughts and behaviors, and it's hard to get out. It's even harder to get out when you feel like you can't get out, right? And that typically is a mindset and a state of mind that needs some working with, right? It needs some work. So we're going to talk about learned helplessness today, all during the month of January, which we only have 2 weeks left or a week left. We're going to be talking about ways to better ourselves, right? So, we talked about grief and loss. We talked about stages of healing through trauma. And now I want to talk to you about learned helplessness and what to do to get out. So thank you so much for coming back to my channel. For those who are subscribed, for those who are new, I encourage you to hit the subscribe button right over here. You guys know the drill, so that you can stick around with us and learn and grow and be a part of our validating and educational community. This channel has grown a ton since last year, and I'm really proud to say that there are some really awesome people who follow and are subscribed to this channel. So I guess, this is something that we're not going to see a lot on YouTube, which are therapists who are providing education. So it's really good to know that this community is there to educate people who are looking for answers. So I welcome you. The benefits for you in today's video is that I'm going to highlight a couple of ways that you can get yourself out of learned helplessness, right? You can become, your own therapist. All right, so let's just go ahead and jump in. So the first thing that I hear when I have clients come into my office, whether that's children, teens, or adults who are depressed and feeling hopeless and helpless, is that they believe that they are depressed. And I think a lot of people misperceive what depression is, right? Depression is not this tearful, sappy, crying all the time, moody all the time, I'm really happy one minute, angry the next kind of a disorder, right? Depression can sneak up on you in many ways. In fact, depression looks really different in men than it does in women. When women experience depression, research suggests that they tend to go through a series of physiological symptoms first, right? So we have a nauseated stomach. We may have a stomach that's in knots. We also may have intense migraine headaches, which is basically what happens to me. They can get really, really intense where they can hospitalize you, or they can be perceived as strokes or a heart condition. We also have women who sometimes feel dizzy and nauseated and just really nervous. Their stomach is really shaky and just not very balanced and still, right? Their nerves are always amped up. We also may see postpartum depression, right? In women who have had children or babies and they're having a hard time really adjusting to life and getting back on track, okay? So that's typically the female model of depression. Now, the male model of depression is really different, and it's a little bit hard to identify than it is for women. Now, men tend to have depression that they internalize. So they internalize it and then they displace it onto something else like golf or basketball or baseball or football, right? Or they really throw themselves into their work, but they do it in such a way that it's unhealthy. So they become a workaholic. Okay, men and males and teenage boys tend to exhibit their depression via irritability. So if you're seeing increased irritability, if you're seeing agitation, if you're seeing explosive and intermittent explosive anger, if you're seeing, characteristics of moodiness and just a short fuse, sometimes domestic violence can result from depression. So they're constantly wanting to fight. Males tend to engulf themselves in alcohol and drugs when they are depressed. So if you're seeing all of those behaviors in a man or a male, a teenage boy, then you know that maybe depression is part of that. Maybe depression will help explain what's going on there. So that's a possibility. Now, teenage girls can also be the same way as men. They can be very irritable. They can be very agitated, frustrated, right? Short fuse, all of that. So teenagers, teenage males and males, they tend to be the more angry, irritable individuals, whereas women tend to be more sappy and have poor concentration and really struggling with daily life. So depression can look, differently in different individuals. It can also look different in different races and cultures as well. Now, myself as a multi-ethnic individual, individual. I have African American, Native American, German, and Caucasian, as well as European roots. And each of those cultures exhibit depression very differently. African Americans tend to internalize their depression, and the Caucasian culture or race, they tend to seek out counseling and seek out resources, right? They have better access to resources sociologically. They're just better off and socioeconomically. So, depression can look different across races and cross-culturally, I should say, okay? So that's depression in a nutshell. But is depression different from learned helplessness? Well, if I give you my opinion, I think learned helplessness is a symptom of depression sometimes. So depression is here, learned helplessness is down here as the symptom. That's the way that I see it. Now, some people may say they're two different things, and they very well could be, right? You could feel helpless and you can kind of learn to be helpless without being depressed. But you can also be depressed and have learned helplessness at the same time. So it all really just depends, okay? So what is learned helplessness? Let me just go ahead and give you a definition. I'll put it right up here for you as well. But learned helplessness is basically the idea that you have been discouraged so many times. You have been repeatedly discouraged in such a way, that it's making it really hard for you to move forward. It's making it really, really hard for you to find purpose and meaning. And because of that, you've become discouraged. Every time you attempt to get ahead, something pushes you back, right? Every time you put a step forward or foot forward to get somewhere better, you get pushed back. If that happens too many times and too repetitively, then you become very angry and depressed. You become anxious and you say, you know what, what's the point in doing this? I'm giving this up because I'm not okay with this, okay? So that's learned helplessness. It's basically the process by which you become discouraged because every time you attempt something, you get pushed back, right? It's not working. So how do you get out of that? I'm going to post a video right up here for you guys where I talked about learned helplessness, and I'll post a video at the end of this video where you can go back and learn a little bit more about this topic, okay, and where the concept came from. But let's just go ahead and talk about how do you get out of that? How do you escape that, right? So the first step, and these are tips that I give my clients when they come in to see me. So the first step that I encourage you to take, right, when you're feeling like, you can't get out of something and you feel like you've learned to kind of be helpless in your world, is to step back and try again. Step back and try again. I'm going to say it one more time. Step back and try it again. I think when you're pushing and you're pushing and you're really pushing and you're really trying to make something stick and something work, that's when it's not going to work, because you're not thinking the process through, you're not dealing with your emotions, and you're not altering your behavior in the correct way because you're trying to force something, you're trying to push something. And the more you push and force, the worse it's going to get, the more aggravated and frustrated you're going to get. So I often encourage my clients, when something's not working and you're feeling like something keeps pushing you back, step back and try it again, right? Get another start. Step back, rest, catch your breath, get some water, get some counseling, get some spiritual intervention, get some sleep, get some vitamins and some nutrition in your diet, eat better. Here's a video up here where I talk about all that stuff, right? Catch your second wind, try it again. Don't keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. It's not going to work that way. You're going to have to pause, step back, catch your second wind, catch a third wind or fourth wind, whatever you need. Try it again. Try it again. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, take gradual steps. Take gradual steps. My mom used to have a friend, and we used to call her Aunt Gary, but she used to have a friend who told her that she needed to kind of slow down and reassess in some areas in my mom's life. And my mom would always repeat this saying, and my mom's friend, Aunt Gary, would say, we called her Aunt Gary, she would say, how do you eat an animal? How do you eat an elephant? That's what it was. How do you eat an elephant? And I would be like, what? That is so disgusting. How do you eat an elephant? She would say. And my mom would just be like, what? And she would say, one bite at a time. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And really her analogy was kind of gross when you think about it too much, but it really made sense, because here's what she's saying. If you force things and try to do things all in one breath and all in one sitting, you're going to destroy it. So you want to take gradual steps, right? If you're getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, and you're starting to develop this feeling of helplessness, you want to take gradual steps. Take one baby step, pause. Take another baby step, pause. Take another baby step, pause, right? Gradual steps will get you there faster than trying to race and push through and force your way through. Okay, the next thing that I have written down, okay, is to record your steps. And what I mean by that is track the steps that you're taking, right? What are the concrete steps that you are taking to get better? Right? Are you trying to, achieve a new degree? Well, did you call the place? Did you get your transcript sent in? Right? Did you get the prerequisite classes that they need? Right? Did you get your assignment and your syllabus on time? Right? Did you do everything that you needed to do to get to where you want to be? So track your steps, because what can happen is you can start taking steps, and when something pushes you back, you can lose perspective and feel that you're not making any progress. So you want to be able to push through and take those steps that are necessary. Okay, the next is to abandon New Year's resolutions. I think they are the worst. Okay, they're awful is what I'm trying to say. They are the worst. New Year's resolutions really do manipulate you in a sense. They really do target your need for change and your desire for change, but it's inappropriate, right? Because New Year's resolutions tend to be just one goal or two goals or three goals or four goals, and there's no baby steps to kind of help you get to those goals. You just are looking at that goal, and so you fail, right? You want to lose weight. Your goal is to lose weight, but what are those baby steps that you need to take to actually lose that weight? Well, you need to diet, you need to exercise, you need to go to your doctor, right? You need to get a prescription for diet pills, right? You need to take water pills. Like, what are those baby steps to get to that New Year's resolution of losing weight? So I say completely abandon those New Year resolutions. Go to this video up here if you want, and I kind of walk you through problem solving and what you can actually do to make some real progress. Okay, the next is engage in systematic desensitization. Let me say that again. Engage in systematic desensitization. Basically what that means, outside of the therapeutic jargon, is try to condition yourself to win, right? Condition your mind and condition yourself to push forward no matter what, right? You at a certain point, if you're pushed back too many times, you kind of develop this sensitivity, and you want to desensitize yourself, right? You want to get used to winning. You want to get used to pushing yourself ahead. But when you're sensitized to something, you're easily discouraged, because the sign of one failure is going to deplete you. It's going to destroy you. You don't want that, right? You don't want that at all. You want to be able to get stronger. And the best way to do that is to condition yourself to push forward no matter what, right? Strengthen yourself. You want to desensitize yourself to failure. Okay, that's what I mean. Desensitize yourself to failure. The next is have a partner. Have someone hold you accountable. For me, that's my mom. She's the one that's closer to me. She's the one I see every day. She's the one I talk to throughout the day, many, many times via text or by phone or whatever. So have a partner, somebody that can hold you accountable, somebody that can say, hey, look, you're pushing this a little bit too far. Let's step back and reassess. Or somebody that can say, you know what, keep going. I'm so proud of you. So have a partner. The next is track yourself. So let's say you've gone 3 months and you see no progress. You need to sit down, get a piece of paper, and really lay out your steps. What have I done to make this work, and what hasn't worked? So track yourself. You want to be able to write down in concrete steps what you've done and what you haven't done, and then learn and move forward and grow from there. Okay? And last but not least, I have on my list, practice and practice again, right? Practice and practice again. So repeat. So, you're going to have setbacks. That's a given. That's inevitable. But you want to push forward, and then you want to practice it and do it again. You're going to have some, progress, and then you may have a setback. That's all right. Just get back up and do it again. So practice and repeat, right? Repeat and practice. You want to be able to do that. Okay, thank you so much for being with me today, guys. In this video, I encourage you to give it a thumbs up if it was helpful to you, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can stick around with us. If this video was helpful for you, please let me know in the comment section below. That really does inform the next videos that I do for you guys. We're going to continue to talk about ways to improve yourself this month, and then in February we're going to be talking about some pretty cool things like psychotic post-traumatic stress disorder or post-psychotic disorder. We're going to be talking about all that cool stuff, and you can go to the community section on my page in your YouTube and look at some of the topics that I have planned for the next couple of months. Okay, but let me know in the comment section below if this video was helpful for you. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.